How you guys all doing? Welcome back to the GSMC Chip Shot Football Podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Manny Maradiege, live today on June the 3rd, starting off a new month here on the show and starting off with a big row of stories I have in front for you guys here today. We're obviously going to start off with Justin Jefferson getting that massive contract today announced earlier this morning. We're going to get into the details of that. Then also we're going to go through some more wide receiver rankings or just some receiver rankings in general to include the tight ends there, this time in the AFC North. Plus, we're going to take a deeper look into the conversation around the 18-game potential NFL schedule. Rumored to be coming soon, maybe in a couple years or a year or so. What factors will lead into that and what will be brought to the negotiation table in some of those conversations between the NFL and the NFLPA, plus a lot more on today's show. So make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to the GSMC Chip Shot Football Podcast. And before I do start, as a reminder, if you have any questions or comments, use the Tumblr donations link, GSMCPodcast.net, that you see on your screen. By using that, I'm able to see your question or comment during the live show pop up in my chat box, and that way I could read it on air and get your guys' perspective on anything I say or on any of the topics I have on hand for you guys here today. So again, if you would, please use the tip and donations link. It's a massive help for the show, again, at GSMCPodcast.net. But in saying that, we could get into, not the rankings yet, but the Justin Jefferson massive deal that he received today by the Minnesota Vikings. Massive deal, resetting the wide receiver market, announced this morning. The Vikings and Justin Jefferson agreed to that new 4-year, $140 million deal, $110 million guaranteed. If you break it all down, doing a little bit of math, you get $35 million per year on an annual salary, completely resetting the wide receiver market. That was the rumored amount that he would probably get, 35, maybe 34. Finally, the Vikings settle on completely resetting the market at $35 million per year. And, of course, history comes along with that. Justin Jefferson will become the wide receiver making the most money per year. Obviously, he also becomes the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history and the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history as well, just passing over that $34 million mark by Nick Bosa by the San Francisco 49ers when he got his new deal. Also, the deal includes an 88.7 signing bonus guaranteed amount, obviously when Justin Jefferson signed his contract, so he becomes the highest non-quarterback guaranteed money at the signing of his new contract, also in NFL history. The most guaranteed money in NFL history for a wide receiver, also passing A.J. Brown's guaranteed money of $84 million guaranteed on his new contract as well. A lot of history made just this morning from Justin Jefferson and the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings have been trying to get this deal done with Justin Jefferson for a while now, since last offseason actually, when they picked up his fifth-year option, and they were hoping to get a deal done last offseason. They said they were close, but nothing really came into fruition, and Justin Jefferson went on to have the year that he did, suffered through some injuries, and missed the most amount of time in his NFL career last season, but still recorded 1,000 yards and was a pivotal part of the Vikings offense last year that had the potential to be great, but I think that missed time definitely hindered their ability to do more out of last season where they had a good amount of talent. Now they get better and they lock down their bona fide number one wide receiver in Justin Jefferson. And if you really think about it, big picture, obviously hindsight, it worked a lot better for Justin Jefferson to wait until this offseason. Yeah, it came a little bit close, maybe made the Vikings a little bit more nervous, but at the end of the day, Justin Jefferson got more money than, say, if he would have extended last offseason. There would have been 7 or 8 receivers that would be making more money based on who got the contract this season. Now Justin Jefferson is making more money than anybody in NFL history, so it all worked out well for Justin Jefferson definitely and the Minnesota Vikings. You know, when you're talking about these deals, I always find it funny when a quarterback gets a massive contract, like say Jared Goff. Jared Goff got his massive contract, second or third highest paid quarterback in the NFL, and everybody, congratulates him. They say, all right, he got that new deal. That's just how the market fell. But then they question, is he worth that much? This is how you know you're the guy in the NFL, right? You get dumb amount of money, a ridiculous amount. You get reset the wide receiver market, and you make history just by signing this contract, and nobody bats an eye. Nobody questions anything. Nobody says, did the Vikings make a mistake? Is it too much money? Nothing. None of that. Justin Jefferson has proven it over and over again that he deserves this money. That's how you know you're really that guy, honestly, in the NFL for Justin Jefferson. And just to put it into more of a perspective as to why, he arguably could be on a trajectory to be among one of the greats in the NFL. Just the records, some of the records that Justin Jefferson has already broken or set in the NFL are most receiving yards per game in the NFL. Per game averages 98.3 yards, the most receiving yards per game in the NFL so far, the youngest player in NFL history to lead the league in receiving yards in a season and in receptions as well. 23 years old in 2022, where he led both categories, and also most receiving yards through 4 career seasons, 5,899, and also set the benchmark for most receiving yards through 2 seasons in the NFL, through 3 seasons in the NFL, and also through 4 now. And lastly, he was the fastest player to reach 5,000 receiving yards, only doing it in 52 games. And those are only some of the records. He has a lot more that he set or has broken already in a young career. And also, I thought it was pretty funny that I saw some of these tweets where they sort of compared how much money Justin Jefferson is making compared to other landmarks around the NFL. Green Bay has 10 wide receivers on their roster currently, and combined, all 10 of them are making $12 million. Combined, all of them. Only $23 million less than what just one wide receiver in Justin Jefferson is making. Again, just to put it into perspective. And also, if you're looking at other markets in the NFL, the running back market tops off around $12 million per year. Maximum average salary, only about a third of the wide receivers and about what Justin Jefferson is making, about 1/3 of his contract. So this is really groundbreaking stuff here for a receiver to be making this amount of money. And if you really think about it now, only $20 million, $15 million away from what quarterbacks are making, and they're seen as the premier, most pivotal position to play in the NFL. Wide receivers are just right there, along with edge rushers who probably make the most after that. So Justin Jefferson making history on his own. Now, what does this mean for other wide receivers? This is a massive thing for Justin Jefferson, but it also is groundbreaking for the rest of the NFL and the rest of the wide receivers that are trying to get paid as well. Mainly CeeDee Lamb, because he is the one that got drafted along with Justin Jefferson in that draft class. And I thought it was very interesting to see how they've compared over the 4 seasons that they've played in the NFL and how close they are to each other to sort of get an idea of what CeeDee Lamb could potentially be asking for now that Justin Jefferson got his new deal. Through 4 seasons, both of them have played 4 seasons. All pros, Justin Jefferson has made 3. CeeDee Lamb has made 2. Pro Bowls, Justin Jefferson has made 3, and so has CeeDee Lamb, both of them on 3. Receiving yards, or actually receptions in the NFL through 4 seasons, Justin Jefferson has 392, and CeeDee Lamb has 395. So CeeDee Lamb edges him just barely in that category. Then you look at yards, and Justin Jefferson, a lot of yards, nearly 5,900 yards at 5,899 through 4 years. And now CeeDee Lamb, very close, or somewhat close, just over 5,000 yards there for CeeDee Lamb. And then in touchdowns, CeeDee Lamb actually edges Justin Jefferson in that category. 35 touchdowns in 4 years for CeeDee Lamb and 31 on the side of Justin Jefferson. So very similar numbers in that aspect. So one would think if Justin Jefferson is getting $35 million per year, shouldn't CeeDee Lamb be getting that amount of money as well, just based on what he has done in his career? Very similar to Justin Jefferson. So why would he make $29 million if he's put up the same amount of numbers that Justin Jefferson has also done? That's an interesting question, and that's also probably the biggest remaining question of this offseason, I would probably argue, because CeeDee Lamb is set to play 2024 on the 5th-year option that Dallas picked up last offseason and has not been present throughout the offseason just yet, and he is trying to get a deal worked out with everything going on right now. Recent reports have come out that the negotiations are now starting to speed up between CeeDee Lamb and the Dallas Cowboys after Justin Jefferson has set this landmark. Does it get done? And now the question of, is this the end maybe for CeeDee Lamb in Dallas? Is this too expensive now for CeeDee Lamb maybe to get a contract similar to Justin Jefferson to stay on the Cowboys? And if that is too expensive, who in the NFL could afford that if CeeDee Lamb was to move on after this year? They still have to pay Dak. Who becomes a priority there now? Maybe CeeDee Lamb becomes too expensive, out of the range of the Dallas Cowboys because they're already in some salary cap trouble. So can they even afford CeeDee Lamb now, especially if Dak Prescott is willing to take less money than the $50 million that is rumored at 31 years old? Maybe that is a possibility for Dak. You never know. And also, Micah Parsons isn't too far down the line. All those are factors in this equation for CeeDee Lamb. And also, not just the Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb, but this is also awful news for the San Francisco 49ers and the Cincinnati Bengals because of those pending contracts of Brandon Ayuk and Jamar Chase and also T. Higgins. The Bengals can't have the highest paid wide receiver or one of the highest paid wide receivers and also the highest paid quarterback and another receiver making about $29-30 million per year. That's not going to happen. Very unlikely. So probably the odd man out will be T. Higgins. And even how the Bengals structure Jamar Chase's contract will be interesting to see. If they have a traditional guaranteed system in his contract, similar to Joe Burrow, they're not really used to doing something like that. That would be out of character for the Bengals, but it isn't out of the realm of possibility when you're dealing with one of the young, up-and-coming, great wide receivers in the NFL in Jamar Chase. So now, do the Bengals finally budge and maybe look for a trade partner for T. Higgins now that this new high in the wide receiver market is reached? That is also another possibility. And also Brandon Ayuk. I can't see him asking for less than the $28 million per year that Jalen Waddle got. And now, instead of having that range of $28 million to $32 million set by A.J. Brown, you waited a little bit too long. This has been going on all off season. You wait a little bit too long, and now that $28 to $32 million range is extended to $7 million now instead of that $4 million window that you had. Again, does he become too expensive? And now the 49ers decide to move him on because of the circumstances they face now. A lot more questions after this Justin Jefferson deal, but not too many for Justin Jefferson and the Vikings. They've crossed off probably everything that they had on their to-do list this offseason. Take away the risk of losing Justin Jefferson because he was supposed to play this year, also on his fifth-year option. That is all crossed off. He's locked in for another 4 to 5 years. They have a new quarterback coming in, so their offense is young, exciting. It's all set up for them in the near future to exceed. Now with nothing looming over their heads, they have an impressive defense, and the Vikings are a sneaky team this year. Don't sleep on the Minnesota Vikings. I'm liking them in that division. Very exciting NFC North. Now becomes even more exciting because you know Justin Jefferson will be there for the foreseeable future. But that'll do it for this topic. Congratulations again to Justin Jefferson. Well deserved. No one has any doubts about that. But we will move on with the rest of the show. And we're going to talk about, up next after the break, some more receiving group rankings, this time in the AFC North. Where do the Steelers, Bengals, Browns, and Ravens all fall in my rankings this week? You're not going to want to miss it, so stick around. We'll be right back after this.